never struggled. They are the ones who never give up despite the struggles. The words of Sharon James there. There are places in the heart you never even knew existed, right? Until you had a child or even love a child. Right, there are some people that naturally they just love children around them. They like seeing kids around them. Now imagine if such a person now gives birth to a child, right? Or you find yourself being responsible for a child. So the feeling is definitely different. It is on that note that I welcome you to today's edition of Women on Wheels here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Today on the show, we shall continue from where we stopped last week in commemoration of the International Mother's Day that was celebrated 2 Sundays ago. All right, so this program is brought to you courtesy Toyota Nigeria Limited, the sole distributor of the Toyota automobile brand in Nigeria. And the program airs at 7:30 to 8 p.m. every Tuesday. Before we get down to business tonight, let's hear from our sponsors and I will return shortly.
My people follow others, then we choose Toyota. If not comfort and style, Toyota gets on boku. Step back from car, the day and the day easy to maintain. I drive go west, I journey go south, travel go east, my tour go north. My chassis see many Toyota motor for road. Motor is strong and it dey reliable. Toyota. Toyota. Hey, just stand getting down for Nigeria.
This our market don't turn wahala o. Everywhere just scatter. Peace of mind don't call, no kuku dey. Small rain like this, everywhere don't dirty. How person go take sell market for this kind place? You sef dey feel am abi?
Mama T, better to read our land. Platinum Shopping Complex for Joe. Now the new levels, the shop stand gidigba. Everywhere clean, lights dey, security now 247, and correct customers go they come buy things. Just drop 7.5 million naira first. Make you use them secure your own shop and your own future.
Time they go. Not let your mates buy all the shops finish. Go www.platinumlagos.com now or call 0916 997 2284 or 0916 997 2287 now.
Now, Mama T, you don't go rush pay.
Now who do they carry last my sister?
You're still listening to Women on Wheels here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Quickly, let's tell you that the roads are still looking very, very appreciable tonight. Wherever you find yourself, please be patient while you navigate the length and breadth over Lagos. It is dark already, and sure your headlamps are working even as you move around. So I said earlier that we will continue where we stopped last week. So the discussion last week was around, dissecting motherhood amongst different generations. For the sake of those who listened last week, and somebody sent me a message wanting to know, okay, who the baby boomers are, who the silent, those who belong to the silent generation are, the Gen X, the millennials. So basically, The silent generation are those born between 1928 and 1945. So basically, you have people between 79 and say 96. Yes, 79 and 96. Those are the silent generation, that is those born around this era, that's 1928 to 1946. They are the silent generation. And so after the silent generation, we have the baby boomers born between 1946 and 1964. So you would have people between age 60 and 78 in this category. So for Gen X, we have people born between 1965 to 1980, that is age 44 to age 59. After Gen X, we have the millennials between 1981 and 1996, that is between the ages of 28 and 43. And so after that, we have, should I call them the notorious Gen Z now? Okay, so the Gen Z falls between 1997 to 2012, that is between the ages of 12 and 27, followed by the Gen Alpha, which is 2012 to 2025. Right, so let's just say 2012 till date. So those are those who fall in that category of Gen Alpha. Last week, I explored the world of someone from the Generation X, which is 1965 to 1980. That is, her age range should be between 44 and 59. Apparently, she's a grandmother, so she's around 50, 56, 57 or thereabout. Adedoyin Adenrele was my guest on the program last week, and she spoke from the angle of someone born in that generation, that is Gen X. She raised a lot of concerns as regards motherhood, since we're still celebrating the Mother's Day, right? This was celebrated on the 11th of May. So we decided to explore motherhood, across all generations. So she spoke from the perspective of someone in that generation of Gen X. She raised a lot of concerns as regards, some of the ills of the baby boomers, that is motherhood, during the era of baby boomers and the silent generation, some of the things they passed on to the Gen X, and then the Gen X tried to, adopt the same method in raising their children. But unfortunately, they woke up from their slumber, right, along the line, and then they decided to change the narrative, because the narrative is fast changing, talking about parenting, talking about motherhood, and of course the ills in our society today. And so on the show tonight, I will be exploring the world of a baby boomer and a Gen Z. They shared their thoughts with me on their motherhood journey. They told me about, the ills of the society, how the narrative that was passed on to them, some of the advantages of these narratives and some of the disadvantages of these narratives. And of course, the Gen Z also told me, right, I will be coming back to the Gen Z, but then first, let's hear, what the baby boomers have to say. Apparently, I explored the world of our safety Amazon here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Earlier on today, I spoke with Fire Williams, and here is what she has to say as a baby boomer.
In my time, motherhood, family life was really, really very precious. It was very precious. You had to spend time. You had to do all your responsibilities, like cooking. There was more family time. There were sacrifices. and we tended to make the children involved in whatever we were doing. If we were at home and we had to clean, we get the children to do little things from us. As soon as they could climb a small stool, they could reach the kitchen sink, they'll take their own plates, to the kitchen and all that. And beyond that, as they grew, we made them independent. I remember I allowed my children to spend time with their grandma, without us. I allowed them to sleep in their own beds so that they could be independent. And in relation to their friends, we encourage them to develop, a very high sense of emotional intelligence. Sometimes they would come with their challenges and would resolve it together, would not shout them down. So I have a girl and I have boys, and I found out that yes, the girl is more sensitive, but the boys it's not as if they lack that sensitivity, because they were also very sensitive children who were ready to contribute, to comfort you, to be with you, to support you when they felt you were going through a difficult time. Now, what is happening right now? I think there is so much focus on what do I own? How big is my Mercedes is bigger than yours kind of syndrome. And there's so much distraction with everything online, and not all is wholesome. You say, oh, skits are there to entertain, but sometimes even the language that is being used, the values that are being portrayed are not things that I totally agree with. So there is unbridled access to all kinds of influences on the internet now. And I think that is really affecting the upbringing of the generation succeeding us. It's a big pity, but I know that some of this is true. Because that silent generation, at times they didn't even work because they wanted to be hands-on, 24/7, looking after the children. And for the baby boomers, for those of us that even worked, for instance, I took a step back from corporate Nigeria and decided to be an entrepreneur. And one of the major reasons was in order to be in control of my time, because my children's drama, rehearsal, graduation day, open days, they would be in my diary like an appointment for a job, So school run was like clockwork and all that, because I wanted to really be close to the children. So a lot of sacrifices were made. The advice given to us then is that you have to be a woman, you have to be a mother, you have to make the sacrifices, you need to play down your career. So we were not told that you can have it all, and we were not told that you could change the trajectory. You could even go further in your career and then decide that, okay, I've reached a particular point now, I would like to, begin childbearing. We could never do it the other way around. It was like baby first. Like, even if you get married, the next thing somebody is looking at your tummy and asking you why something hasn't happened. If you don't take in within 2 years, you yourself will be anxious in that particular, era. But it shouldn't be that way all the time, because with marriage, you need to even get to know your spouse better. You need to understand what marriage is all about. And with the babies, you need to take your time, have good spacing, have balance, be able to achieve balance even while rearing children. So I do think that to some extent, the silent generation and us, we did box the women into some corners. And right now, it's up to us to tell the men folk that this is a partnership. We should have the boys, the young guys coming in to support the women to be the best they can, and that sacrifice needs to be both ways. It's not only from the woman. Let's take an example now, a car that has 6 cylinders. What do you think would happen if I deliberately switched off 3? Would that vehicle be able to rev? Would it be able to go? Would it be able to move at the same kind of velocity as if it had the 6 cylinders? So this is, to me, the reality of the gender inequality. And for the women to catch up, honestly, I understand. Look at politics, how we are so much underrepresented. And of course, in the corporate world too, at the C-suite level, a lot of underrepresentation. So for us to catch up, I hear it to take about 142 years. It's as bad as that. So if this realization can be kept in the forefront, and we could go back to our culture and look at the Efusheto and Iwuras, look at the Mrs. Ransom Kutis, and what they were able to achieve. Flora Nwakpa, who is even an academic, she was so prolific with her writing. So we've had role models of women who've done very well. Mrs. Okonjo-Iweala is still around, and she has made her mark even in the international scene. Madam Obi, Dr. Ezekwesili, so we need to realize that we do have these positive role models around us, and instead of them being counted on one hand, which is what I've just done now, we want them to be, to fill a stadium. So that is my message, to the Gen X and the millennials out there. We want women with potential to fill a stadium. We don't want to count you only on one hand. We want you to be as plentiful as sands on the shore. Every generation has its own culture, its own its own SOP, its own playbook, its own dynamics, and of course this is. They are not immune to what's happening in the whole world, where you have remote working, where you have people who can say, I don't even want to have a child. I can engage a surrogate. And all that is happening now. They have so many more options and choices. So I would say that, yes, it's good to be blunt, it's good to be forthright, but family is family. And for every great woman or great man out there, you need to go back to the foundation. It's usually a foundation of love and nurture and instruction and stability and support and allowing you to air your opinion and guiding you in your choices. It's never a do it as you like, type of environment that brings up.
All right, you just listen to the voice of Fayo Williams there, the safety Amazon here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Yes, she agrees that the older generation, the baby boomers and the silent generations actually, did a whole lot as to the kind of women, we have around us today. It's part of the challenges being faced by women till tomorrow. The narrative is changing, and of course she agrees that yes, the Gen Z, yes, they can be very assertive with their opinion. However, I asked her if she perceives them as being rude or well. She said she doesn't have a problem with them being blunt, but as a matter of fact, family will always be family. That is what their generation is known for. You're still listening to Women on Wheels here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. I will take another short break and return to continue with the Gen Z.
My people follow others, then we choose Toyota. If not comfort and style, Toyota gets on boku. Travel go east, my tour go north. My shows is many Toyota motor for road. Motor is strong and it they reliable. Toyota. Toyota. Hey, just stand getting down for Nigeria.
market don turn wahala o. Everywhere just scatter. Peace of mind don come, e no kuku dey. Small rain like this, everywhere don dirty. How person go take sell market for this kind place? You sef dey feel am abi?
Mama T, better to read our land. Platinum Shopping Complex for job. Now the new levels, the shop stand gidigba. Everywhere clean, lights dey, security now 247, and correct customers go dey come buy things. Just drop 7.5 million naira first. Make you use them secure your own shop and your own future.
Time they go. No let your mates buy all the shops finish. Go www.platinumlagos.com now or call 0916 997 2284 or 0916 997 2287 now.
Now, Mama T, you don't go rush pay.
Ah, now who do they carry last my sister?
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, the Gen Z generation, born between 1997 and 2012. Children or people born around this time are highly collaborative, self-reliant, and pragmatic in nature. They can be firm, assertive, and very, very blunt. As against what we had, with the previous generation who were silent, who were quiet about, everything that concerns this gender, especially when it has to do with the opposite sex. But you see, with this generation, it comes with a whole lot of slogans, okay? We listen, we don't judge. Yes, we say it as it is. You just name it. But then I spoke to one of them as regards motherhood, because when it comes to motherhood journey, it comes with a whole lot of responsibility. And if moral values, is anything to go by, talking about, sustaining moral values, we need to pay keen attention to this generation. Let's hear what they have to say.
Sometimes it feels tiring, stress out, just look like, my God, is this what I've gotten myself into? But most of the time, when you look at your child, you feel proud, like, thank God I give birth to this beautiful daughter or this handsome boy as a child. But mother work is not an easy thing. We have to protect our child. Our child look up to us as their protector. There's this thing I always say, because the way I was brought up, I wasn't being free with my mom. I couldn't even express myself. So when I grew up, I was like, if I'm going to give birth to like a daughter, I would like my daughter to be very, very close to me so that she will be able to express herself. I want my daughter to see me as her best friend and also her mom. Her best friend in a sense that if anything is bothering her or she starts seeing someone, she will be free to talk to me. And a mother at a point that if she make a wrong move, I'll be able to correct her. If it's beating, I beat her to put some sense into. So a role of a mother is very big. Our children look up to us. Even when you tell them there is no food, they are expected to eat. There is nothing that you want to tell them that they will hear. Their own is they want to eat something. They want you as a mother to provide for them. Sorry, I didn't grow much with my grandmom. So the little that I know was that I think it was the way my mom was brought up. That's the way she was trying to bring me up. Because then my grandmom is the kind that she's harsh too. She pushed them into becoming what they don't even wish to, because the comparison was too much. So daughter is this and that, but you, all you do is stay home, do this, sleep, wake up, all those kind of comparison. Like, it make them have this low self-esteem that what will I do? Even if I do something, it will still look as if I didn't do anything. Like my grandmom, she hardly appreciates. Imagine when you work hard for something, like you want your mom to see you, oh, you did this, that's so good, appreciate you, but you didn't get that. I think that was very, very, very difficult kind of bringing up a child, because that child will not be able to go far, because there's this spirit that push you when you know that you do something and someone appreciates you. There's this spirit that push you far. Because I remember the time that I used to do clean up for my mom every Saturday. So when it's my time to like clean the room, maybe the toilet, wash the bathroom, everything, when my mom come back, she knows when I'm the one cleaning and when it's the other person. Favor, because that's what she always call me. So the other lady was feeling kind of, my mom doesn't appreciate her. So one day my mom has to call the two of us together. Say, you feel like I'm being appreciative towards my daughter because she's my daughter. No, it's because when she's doing something, she take time to do the thing and you see the work done. So that make me, anytime I'm doing something, I take my time. I'm kind of lazy, procrastinating.
All right, that's how much we can take from, my conversation with Faith Johnson, of the Gen Z generation. Of course, I'm afraid we run out of time already. But certainly the conversation will continue next week. We have decided to, extend this so we can at least accommodate the 6 generations. Of course, it's not limited to 6. There is a generation, or there was a generation before, the silent generation. Some of them are still very much around, very few apparently. But then next week, we shall explore the world of the millennials as mothers and that of the silent generation. This program has been brought to you by Toyota Nigeria Limited. And of course, it has been produced by Ajose Uluwale, Idowadeyemi, and Fumilade Akingbagbo. Maximum thanks to Oluwatoyin Blessing, and of course, Debbie Bolodioku. Big thanks to Victor Terry. Our executive producer is Taya Akonli. I remain Taiwo Baruwa. The program makes a return next week, Tuesday, for another.